Alrighty, let's get going, why don't we? As soon as this finishes loading anyway. Probably got to adjust the volume too. I don't remember it taking this long to load. I don't think I have any mods installed. Oh. There we go. Yeah, whatever. Pretty sure I already saw that before. Okay, audio. I already have this set pretty close to where I would set it, I think. Let's just turn that down a little bit more. Nope. Looks like somebody was making a regolith castle. What are my old saves like? Okay. None of them is particularly advanced. Let's do... You know what? Screw it. We'll resume whichever one of these is the latest. It doesn't tell you when they were last saved, does it? That's too bad. Well, we're going with whichever one this is. Okay. We're about... Well, I'd hate to say halfway through the research tree, because that's definitely not true. Okay. We're through the easy part of the research tree. Okay, they're non-active, that's good. Let's see, what kind of things have you been doing lately? Flyby of the Mun. Suborbital flight. Suborbital flight. Orbit around Kerbin. Okay, so you've been doing tourist missions for money. And getting ready to land on the Mun. Okay, that's cool. I don't know when this was last saved. It won't tell me, will it? No, it won't. Okay, well that's unfortunate. What kind of craft have I made in this game? Looks like there's a couple different bosses. This is probably the last thing I worked on, I'm guessing. Not sure how well this would actually work. It looks like it's untested, at a guess. Yeah, if I had to guess, this thing has probably never actually landed anywhere. I think this probably would have been a early game testing craft, maybe? Yeah, it uses the 400 size tanks. So it was before I unlocked the 800s. Part tester. This is just minimum parts required to do testing missions. Actually, it's more than that, but... Okay. Mun flyby. this is not particularly amazingly designed, if I have to say so myself. All 400s. Okay, did I not unlock the 800 yet? Surely I have. Yeah, right there it is. Okay, so this was built before the 800s were available. Bunch of batteries. No solar panels? No solar panels, okay. So this is just a quick smash and grab. Get science mission. Okay. Minimus flyby. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this probably has never been flown. Okay. Got a bit of fuel. This one does actually have solar panels. A less extreme amount of batteries. Reasonable amount of scientific instruments. Okay. Would this actually be capable of launching itself? Two Minimus? Let's see. Where is that? We got Delta V. Could you actually show me information instead of... Oh, shows it on the stages, of course. Been so long. Okay, so the first stage pops the solid boosters. Yes, the solid boosters. Okay, second stage pops the outer asparagus tanks with their extra boosters. The next stage pops off the bottom. Okay. About 3. Okay. So this thing's probably going to get into orbit. This may or may not be able to do a Minimus flyby. Oh, Colo. This thing... What in the world? Okay. No. This is not at all how any of this should work. What made me make this decision? KSP is free on Epic right now. It's like, yeah, why not? We'll play a little tiny bit of Kerbal Space Program. This is an old save from who knows when. I'm trying to figure out what was going on or what was going through my brain when I did this. Whatever past me designed this craft did not set the staging up, that's for sure. Okay, which motor is this firing? Okay. A lot of these things do not belong in the same stages. Those go above that. Matter of fact, that'll probably never actually stage together. So how's it going? I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure out what I was thinking when I designed all this. Okay. So those 4 should ignite down here. This shouldn't pop until later. Definitely above that. Okay, those two go together. Oops. And these go down here. Yeah. Does this even have any fuel? Barely any. Alright. This needs to go below that for sure. How's life going? Well, pretty well. I am gaining a growing hatred of certain C# libraries, but thankfully, once this particular phase of the project is over with, we will never have to use it again. I don't think this has enough fuel. Also, the rust weight ratio is maybe a little wonky. Also, why is it not displaying? Does this not have any fuel? It's got some fuel for sure. Yeah, it's got fuel. Very little. Okay, weird. You're playing 7 Days to Die with your friends, your character got corrupted, and you can't play with them anymore. Well, that's not good. Is it possible to create a new character? I mean, obviously that'd be less than ideal, but better than not being able to play. No. That's weird. Yeah, I don't think this booster would actually work. But it's better than it was, so let's save it and move on. Okay, the 8 Kerbal bus. This is a simple and very ugly tourist bus. Oh, I see how this worked. Milo, you very, very evil person. Disgusting. You clipped 4 fuselages together, didn't you? Yuck. Even deleting your cache will only reappear it temporarily until you want to join them again? Maybe it has to be deleted on whoever is the host. I don't know exactly how 7 Days to Die stores character data. To be clear. Okay, at least this looks like it's staged correctly. I'm assuming this has probably brought many tourists home. What's the 6 Kerbal bus look like? It's the same thing, but slightly less disgusting. Okay. I never did bother to put descriptions in either. Okay, these are from my other save, apparently. Okay, interesting. Well, we're not loading any of those up. Alright. Oh. On the host PC, you don't even have anything for that server? That's very weird then. I don't know, I never really played well, I don't even own 7 Days to Die, so. Well, let's see. What do I have in the space plane hangar? Probably a grand total of nothing. Oh, I do have something. What is this disgusting monstrosity? Okay. Did I at least make sure it was balanced? Maybe, kinda. I can't remember if the center of lift should be behind or ahead of the center of mass. I think ahead of. Or behind, I mean. Just behind. Maybe slightly above as well. Oh well. Now that I have some idea of what designs I have available, let's see what we can get. Okay. They want rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Kerbin. Position a satellite in polar orbit of Minimus. Rescue a couple dudes from orbit. I think I might want to make sure I blow my piloting rust off before I do rescue missions again. Science data from space around. Okay, that is extremely trivial to do. Find a green sandstone from Minimus. Okay. That's interesting. That must be completely new since the last time I played. I've never heard of that kind of mission. Plant a flag on the Mun. I would like to do that at some point, yes. Science data from the surface of the Mun. It's probably about time we actually try to do a Mun landing. Yeah, we probably have the money to do it even. Okay, we could do some tourist missions if we needed money, though. These guys want to fly by Minimus and the Mun, though. Huh. No. Okay. Let's go see if we can make that Mun lander actually be able to take off. Okay, so I don't think this thing has enough Delta V to make it safely to its destination. I just don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so this thing has so little fuel. What was I thinking? Well, yeah, it might not be quite as bad as I think. That's a larger diameter tank. 198, 242. What do the 800 tanks hold? No, it's engines. There we go. Okay, so that is less than 800 even. We might have to slap some side tanks onto this. Okay. This probably needs some boosters. Or I could mount extra. Let's see, do I have... I do not have ejection boosters yet. I could probably unlock some, though. Let's go take a look at the tech tree. I think I have like a 990 tech, which means I could unlock one more thing. Okay. So this would get me Separatrons. Which would be very useful. Problem is there's other stuff in here that's extremely useful as well. Okay. What are these? Okay, interesting. Do a flip with a rocket? Well, I prefer not to do a flip, actually. Hmm. They have actual robot parts in here. I remember when you used to have to get mods for that. Okay, these spaceplane parts are definitely, no thanks, we don't need those. Helicopter blades, propeller blades. Okay. Interesting. That's all completely new since the last time I looked at this screen. Heat shields, rotors, landing gear. Okay, some of that stuff might be useful. Large reaction wheels would be useful. Okay, bigger command modules. Better lander cans. Pretty tempting. Okay. Mobile processing lab. There's some good stuff there. I think I might just have to go with, oh man. The better solar panels are extremely tempting. What is this? Robotic controller. Okay. Interesting. I think I might just have to go with precision propulsion just to get the Separatrons, though. And some of these little engines are good for landers as well. Well, okay, I'm gonna buy this before I have second thoughts. You might see me do a flip whether I want to or not, unfortunately. Okay, so let's add another set of tanks on the side. Hopefully this will work. There we go. We'll put them right up there. We're not going to put engines on these. They're just going to be tanks. We'll do an 800 and then we'll put a 400 below it. So we can find the damn thing. There it is. Can you please attach? There we go. There we go. That's the button to do that. Okay. And then these will go to there. Actually, let's not do it quite that way. Boom. Boom. Perfect. Okay, where are these in the list? Right up there for some bizarro reason. Okay. Now, to help ensure these separate properly without smacking into the rocket core, I am going to put Separatrons on them, if I can find the damn things. There they are. How do I want to place these things exactly? If I do it like that, then they'll kick them out away from the core in an upward direction, hopefully miss the fins. That might work. Okay. We'll fire those at the same time as we fire the ejectors here. Yeah. We'll decouple, we'll fire the Separatrons, and the next step, we'll decouple those. Those probably don't need Separatrons to come loose. We're within part size. Yeah. Okay. Command module facing the wrong way around. Yes, I know. Decoupler's attached wrong. Oh, really? Okay. I suspect that it's probably still okay. Yes, because we want to leave the casing behind with this rocket. Hello, Ash. I seem to be a rocket scientist. I am attempting to be that, yes. We'll see how successfully. Okay, this decoupler is definitely on right, I think. This decoupler, well, who knows. Empty crew cabin, that's fine. It's supposed to be empty for now. Engines jettisoned before use. That is most certainly not true. Oh, is it for some reason thinking that this... Here. Let's reroute the ship. Okay, that fixed a lot of problems. Because now it thinks that this is the route of the ship, so... So it no longer thinks that we're discarding the whole top half when we're disconnecting the bottom half. We're discarding the bottom half instead. Alright. Make sure these are set up correctly. By default, it has build and jab aboard with a personal parachute and an EVA jetpack. Okay, there's no real reason for the personal parachute, but that's fine. Nobody in the Mark 1 lander for now. Don't know if we'll launch it with the Kerbal in there or not. We'll see. But this is the default control point. And you are, well, to be dealt with later. Okay, now, do we have enough Delta V? It looks like we have a bit over 4,500. Yeah. Probably almost 4,600 total. Now... we only have about... okay, let's see. Our thrust ratio is 1.59 when taking off. That isn't great. At all. Once we ditch the extra fuel, it goes up to 2. So for first 30 seconds, we're going to have not that great of a thrust weight ratio with the current setup. If we put on some solid fuel boosters, just hard attach them to this, and give them a solid 30-second of burn time. I wish these things would list their burn time, their default burn time. To be clear, you could adjust their burn time by tweaking them a bit. I guess I'd have to figure out how much fuel it has versus what its burn rate is. And that just sounds like the kind of thing that I would want to know ahead of time. Thank you very much. I guess there is a way to figure it out, though. Boom. Let's adjust the thrust limiter down. And down. What? Oh, these fire... oh, okay, that tells me the burn time right there. Okay, so what the burn time has to be to equal... yeah, it's 49 seconds. That's too long. So I could reduce the solid fuel. But these are honestly not going to be powerful enough anyway. The KD-25s are probably too large. The RT-10 is probably not large enough. maybe a good old thumper. Okay. We'll have to strut this a little bit, but that's fine. Also, it's not on perfectly straight, I don't think. That looks a lot better right there. Okay. Burn 42 seconds. So we'll have to throttle the main engine down some to keep from running out of liquid fuel in the side booster before. Okay. I am tentatively okay with this, actually. What if I reduce the solid fuel slightly and get it to be exactly 30%, or 30 seconds, I mean. Boom, 30 seconds exactly. Okay. That gives us a 1.99 thrust to weight ratio in this. Why does it say 13-second burn? Interesting. Add more boosters. I think we're good on boosters for the moment. I hope. Let's see. Yeah, first stage, all the rocket engines light off. According to this, it'll burn for 10 seconds. I'm not sure I believe that. How much weight did I actually save off these when I did that? Quite a bit, actually. Yeah, I really wish you would. Here. Give me another stage, damn it. Okay, this will take 30 seconds to burn. Supposedly this is a 0-second burn. Okay, maybe I was misreading the thing here. Because clearly clearly we don't have enough liquid fuel in this stage to make that. You know what? Let's try it out. Running numbers is only so worthwhile. Eventually you just need to go ahead and... do I have the tilted nose cone yet? Don't think so. Okay. Well, I guess we're going with those then. I'm going to strut this, perhaps unnecessarily, but... And then I'm going to definitely strut it 100% necessarily. Thankfully, struts rip off when something disconnects. So we can just run a strut like that to brace it. Launch clamps are in the wrong stage. That's how I always have them. In the first... I light the rockets in the same stage as the launch clamps release. That's how I've always done it. Okay, none of those are an actual problem at the moment. Which hatch do you think is obstructed? That? I'm pretty sure it actually isn't. No, it's not. You're just complaining about the shroud, that's all. Okay. Oh. I had him second for a brief little bit when I was trying to figure out how much burn time the solid fuel rockets were going to have. 'Cause I really want to have it set the solid fuel will last just as long as the fuel in these tanks will. I don't think they currently do. I think it's a run through this fuel very quickly. But there's really only one way to find out, I guess. Other than moving stuff around in the staging for an age and a day. Let's go see if this piece of crap will launch. Alright, this thing was designed probably at least a year, maybe a year and a half ago. Maybe longer. And I don't think I've ever flown it. Okay, we are definitely running through the solid fuel faster than the liquid. Okay. So I probably should have just ran max solid fuel in the solid fuel engines. Oh, wait, they're going to run out at about the same time. Ooh, nice clean separation. Okay. Okay. Don't want to tip over too far just yet. This is flying way better than expected, honestly. Alright, somehow I managed to get those perfectly balanced. I must have been reading it correctly the first time when I thought I got it wrong. Okay. Second set of boosters gone. Let's boost it up to about 75. Boom. Okay. Now we'll just coast the rest of the way up. Which burn time do we have on this stage? 87 seconds. Okay, that's plenty. Or hopefully it's plenty. Once we get up to about, in here somewhere, we'll layer over and just hammer down the rest of the way. Let's give it a little tiny bit of engines. We have a little bit more turn authority. And there we go. Let's see if we can get this thing to circularize. Come on. We should be able to do it before we run out of fuel without too much trouble. I hope. Boom, close enough. All right, now. We'll just go ahead and plan our next burn. Whoa, get back here, you. That's actually surprisingly good. Give it just a little bit more oomph. Yeah, we'll never get anywhere close to that actual burn. Let's see. Yeah, we should have enough fuel to do this burn. Okay, we don't have maneuver hold, so we'll have to do it by hand. That's not too hard. Okay, this says we need to do a 20-second burn. This is going shockingly smoothly. All right. Let's boost up speed just a little tiny bit here. What is the goal? We are going to try to land on the Mun, which is something I have not done in a very long time. Admittedly, I have not played this game in a very long time, so I should have started the burn a little bit earlier, but this is kind of a sloppy plan anyway. Okay. Boom. That is plenty close enough. All right. Yeah. Hello, Caesar. You just got access to the warships, not the capital ship's license. We now have a fleet of 2 are... I don't remember how to pronounce that word. Although I think you mangled the spelling too, which doesn't help. The Old Republic frigate. And yes, I'm pretty sure you did indeed spell that wrong. And 5 consular corvettes. Yeah, that frigate's pretty cool. That isn't actually what I wanted to do. I wanted to put a maneuver there. Okay. We just want to be roughly circular. Something sort of resembling a circle, maybe. There, that's much more circular. Alright, that's probably plenty good. We should have enough fuel in the lander to get down and up from that. Something like anyway. Alright. We still have more fuel than I expected to have at this point. I'm going to go ahead and blow the shroud. There's no point in having that on anymore. I probably should have blown that a long time ago, honestly. Alright. I have no idea if this is going to be a successful lander. Okay. Oh, I guess we'll find out. Well, it's nice you have actual capital ships now. Okay. We have about a minute to get facing the right direction. Which is going to take a while because this thing is going to maneuver like an absolute pig. Thankfully, the burn is going to be very short. Actually, let's just tell this thing to face retrograde. That'll be close enough. I'm just going to use time compression to cancel momentum. Or at least we did there. We don't need to for this one. Okay. This maneuver is just a rough guide at best. We're not actually going to spend a lot of time worrying about getting it perfect. We're probably not going to go much above half throttle. Okay, good enough. Alright, at this point, we can probably disconnect the lander and go land once we, actually have a Kerbal inside of it, because I don't think I brought a Kerbal along inside the lander. No, I did not. Okay. So, Jebediah, congratulations. You get to go land on the Mund. Let's grab an EVA report. Okay. No need to do that, I guess. Okay. Just go right ahead and grab on and get aboard. Now must use 2 Consular and the frigate to fight off a Dreadnought and its Arc 170 complement. Safely get your other ships. Also, right before the game surprised you with the license, you captured Imperial Gozanti carrier. Bought the 4 fighters for it to go with it. Is that a good way to organize a fleet? I don't know. Surely can't be a bad way. I usually find operating fighters off carriers to be a bit cumbersome, but I understand I am far from the... Okay, let's see. These... Did I actually put docking couplers on these? Yes, I did. Oh, that's... But I'm not bringing the lander back with me. Why would I do that? Whatever. Sometimes I'm weird, I guess. Alright. I would like to switch to their craft without having to... Okay, fine. There we go. Okay. Deploy landing gear. SAS on. Base retrograde. Throttles to 0. Make sure the main engine is ready to ignite. Will Jeb come back, or is this a one-way mission? This is definitely a Jeb come back type mission. In space, no one can hear your gear. Or at least it darn well better be a Jeb comes back mission. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm actually ready to land yet, but we have disconnected and we are ready to go. We will float in close company until such time as we are... I think I want to land over here on the bright side. And it won't stay bright side forever, but it will be bright side long enough to land. Maybe land right here in the crater or something. Got to check this week. Oh, it's always worth checking. I have a Discord bot in my server that it's often very slow about it, but it usually gets around to alerting you whenever there's a free game available on Steam or Epic or good old games. I think Epic always changes their games on Thursdays. So the fact that it alerted me to that this game was up today is meaning it's a bit late. But Yeah. Anyway, yes, this is free on Epic right today. I would suggest that anybody who doesn't own it yet, go get it. What's its name? I think it's called A Free Game is a Free Game. It's a bit cumbersome and far from perfect. But oh well. Alright. Let's save the game. I'm not sure where our host craft is, but it can't have drifted too far off. And let's start firing the engines. I want to see if I can land in the crater, if at all possible, without using too much fuel, because we do need to take off again. Okay. Now, going to be doing this using height over terrain, obviously. Might as well turn the lights on. We don't need them yet, but they'll be helpful when we get close to the ground. Well, it's pretty light down there, so we'll see. There's our ride home. Assuming I don't completely botch it, the landing part of this should be the easiest part of it. The harder part is going to be the takeoff and rendezvous with the orbiter. Which is one reason why I like to design my landers so that they can return to Kerbin on their own, but that makes them a bit heavy and yeah. Now we could speed time up a little bit here. As a matter of fact, I might, just a little tiny bit. Okay. Yeah, no thanks. We just have in space near the Mon at this point. Crew report. Nope. Yeah, just space near the Mon. Okay. We might be able to do an EVA report that's actually useful, but I don't feel like playing it risky right now. Okay, we are at 19,000 meters, height over ground. I want to wait to start firing the engines until we're about... I'm torn between 5,000 or 10,000 when we start dropping speed. I think we might cut our speed at 10,000. But not like anywhere close to landing speed. Just start chopping it down some so we're not gonna get there quite so quickly. Okay. The more we cut our speed before we get close to the ground, the more fuel we waste effectively. And we need as much fuel as we can arrange to get back into orbit. Because I would like to fly the whole rendezvous with this craft. I definitely want to fly the docking sequence with this craft. Okay. We'll start running the engines a little bit. Okay, a little bit more. Currently, we're just flying this on purely on autopilot, with me doing the engine control. I've flown these fully manual before. It's much easier just to tell them to point retrograde, and then run the engines. Much, much easier. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. We're a couple hundred meters up. I would like to fly the whole thing down at this speed, more or less. Okay. And we are safely down. Nice and easy. All right. Hopefully we have enough fuel to get back off here. Okay, we'll keep experiment. Keep experiment. Log pressure data, keep experiment. Log temperature, keep experiment. Do a crew report. Yeah, we'll just keep it. We do have antennas on this thing we could transmit, but there's no reason to do that. All right. Off we go. Yay, we're on the surface of the Mun. Whee! Okay, what all can we do here? Take surface sample. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and make sure that surface sample is stored safely inside the lander can. Do a little EVA report here. Go ahead and store that as well. And then, of course, we need to plant a flag. Here we go. Plant flag. Let's see. First Mun landing. I hope you have enough fuel to take off. Now, ideally, we would wait a whole orbit until our support craft is above us, and then we could attempt to make rendezvous a little bit better. Bonk. On your feet. Oh, why'd you turn RCS off? What do you mean you can't step inside of a... Okay. The rocks apparently aren't real. That's weird. Yep. The rocks They're a lie. I wonder if I can get a really, shall we say, perfect camera angle. Okay. Well, not quite far enough. There we go. Help! It's Jebediah frozen in carbonite. Okay. That's enough being silly. Let's get back to the lander. Without having a rover or anything, there's not much point to just running around aimlessly. It's not like there's a lot to see or anything that's easy walking distance. Okay. So, SAS on. Go ahead and set you as target. So we're going to want to wait until the lander is, not the lander, the orbiter is somewhere here maybe. I think. And then we'll want to boost up and try to meet it more or less in orbit. It's going to be a bit tricky. We have a bit over half our fuel. Hopefully that's enough. The most important aspect is going to be getting off the ground and circularizing. If we can get off the ground and circularize so that we're not going to smack back into the ground, then we are basically home free. Worst case, we can do the maneuvering with the orbiter. I would prefer to do it with this, but well, let's accelerate time a little bit. When it gets to about here, I'll save the game. Because if it turns out we don't have enough fuel, then I can just revert the save and we'll have to organize another landing to rescue him. A landing with a lander that has, a little bit more Delta V. Hopefully we don't need to do that. We have about 806 meters a second. I don't know if that's enough or not. Okay. Just go ahead and save our game. And we'll want to take off when he's just behind us. That's probably a reasonable enough spot. Okay. That's the wrong way, damn it. I think. Yes, it is. Okay. Please have enough to circularize. Please have enough to circularize. Ooh, I don't know if we're going to have enough to circularize. Let's find out. Nope. Get back here, you. Yeah, we will. Just barely have enough, I think. It's going to be darned close, though. And we're basically going to run out of fuel trying to do this. Okay. We're definitely going to have to do a bunch of orbital maneuvering to meet up with this, though, because I didn't launch into a perfect, we're going to call it. You know what? I'm going to revert. And we're going to try that again, this time launching correctly from the start. Okay. So we want to turn toward that way, I think. I do have this set as the target, right? Yes, okay. Go away. There we go. No, not that. Okay, our ascending node is much better this time around. 1.8 degrees. Okay, that's more fuel than we have. Whoa. Okay. That's a bit better. Now, let's try to get that as close to 0 degrees as we can. Should be close enough. Okay. Let's just try to keep this thing as circular as we can. And we'll do the maneuvering. Yeah, we'll do the maneuvering with the other craft. Final docking maneuvering, we hopefully will have enough to do that with the lander, because that'll be a little easier. We're going to want to fly this maneuver as precisely as we can. Okay, that's making it bigger. Oh, that went the wrong way. Can we get this to exactly 0.0? Nope. Okay. That's going to be way too precise to try to maneuver anyway. Thankfully, this thing is very responsive. Okay, that's probably about as good as we're going to get. 5-second burn time. We're not going to want to go full throttle on this because it's a precision burn. So we do about 1/3 throttle. Stop. Realign. Okay. Okay. That is very close to perfect. And we have 63 meters a second of delta V left, which is very little. But hopefully it will be enough. Okay. Well, it'll definitely be enough, one way or the other. The question is, of course, just how hard it's going to be. Okay, so for this, we're going to want to plot a rendezvous. We're going to try to move this around, try to get our intersections as close together as we possibly can. Ooh. Can we possibly... Okay. No pilots on board. What do you mean? We have Bill. He's good enough. Okay. That's pretty far, actually. Okay. Ooh. That's like, you're going to smack into them amounts of separation. 14,000 meters. Should be safe. I don't think there's any mountains higher than that along there. Okay, not being able to engage the SAS is going to be annoying, though. Not impossible. I've definitely flown worse before, but... I definitely should have brought a second pilot instead of an engineer. Oops. Well, actually what I should have done is I should have put a... what do I call it? We're definitely going to be using... speed up to cancel momentum. Okay. Try to get it right on the dot. There we go. Yeah. I'm not sure how that name is supposed to be pronounced. But that does look like the right spelling, yes. Okay, that should be close enough to dead on. It's a 0.3 second burn in 1 minute. Let's go ahead and put a thrust limiter of like 4% on. At this point, we should have probably discarded this already, because this is our second stage. We should have been on the maneuvering stage already. But I guess we have the fuel in the second stage, you might as well. Okay. Now, it says it's a 6-second burn with that amount of thruster on. More realistically, I'm going to want it to be like a 12-second burn. So I have lots of time to fix screw-ups that will inevitably happen. So we're going to want to start the burn at 6 seconds. We'll do it at half throttle. And we'll very carefully chase the blue crosshair. Because I want this burn to go perfectly. Or as close to perfectly as I can absolutely manage. Also, this thing maneuvers like a pig. Okay, separation, 1.7K. Boom. We should be 100 meters or less away when we get to that intersection point. At that point, we're going to want to burn... I'm actually not sure. Retrograde to our target, I think. Well, we've got a while till we get there anyway. Like, our quintens? Our quitens? Quitens? Something like that? I don't know. Anyway. I'm sure I mangled it, but I probably mangled it less than if I had attempted to just do it without your pronunciation guide. Our quitens is probably about the closest I'd be able to get. I'd have to hear somebody else actually say it, but... Okay, so we want to be retrograde to our target, which means we need to very slowly turn around. We have a minute until we get there. That should be enough time, I think. I really need to get the bigger reaction wheels. Hopefully this gives me enough science to do just that. We're definitely going to have to use time acceleration to cancel the momentum, though. Okay. We are moving toward our target at 30 meters a second. So if I burn retrograde to the target, that should reduce our target speed. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. There it is. I want to get to 0 relative to the target, or as close to it as I can get. And then we need to flip end for end and point toward the target. And burn toward it. Come on, you piece of shit. I'm getting a lot of my control authority. Okay, there we are. That's as close as we're going to get to 0 to the target. Now, we need to flip end for end. Actually, no, we don't need to flip end for end. We want to be pointed toward the retrograde. Because we want to slow down in relation, I think. It's been so long since I've done a... rendezvous like this. Now, I really didn't want to run much, if any, of the rendezvous with this ship. But... well, this is the world we live in. Okay, once I'm as close to dead on as I can. Actually, wait, no. I want to be pointed at the target, not at retrograde to the target. So we want this right here. There we go. Now we'll get a little bit of speed toward the target. We don't want much. 10 meters a second is probably more than enough. Now we need to flip end for end. And we need to point retrograde to the target again. And we probably should not have gotten 10 meters. Because we just passed our damn target. Alright. At this point, we just need to lose speed relative to the target. We're going to end up being farther away from it out the opposite direction by the time we get turned around. Oops. Get back here, you. At least we have plenty of fuel for this. Okay. Now, we need to get pointed toward the target. We need to pick up speed again. But this time, instead of picking up 10 meters a second, we need more like 1 meter a second. Maybe 1.5 if we're feeling generous. Okay, now we need to flip end for end, so that we can be ready to brake. This would be probably way easier if I ejected the current stage. But I have a certain amount of fuel and I'm going to use that fuel, damn it. Okay, that's stupid. We shouldn't do that, but oh well, here we are. Boom. Okay. So 1.5-ish meters to the target is probably a little bit less than we really could do. Okay, we are going to a 0-0 intercept roughly in about 3 minutes. When we get closer, I would like to get this thing down to just tens of meters away and bring it to a relative stop and then switch over to the other lander, or the other half of the actual lander. Okay. I need to be as dead on as I can possibly get. This is where it would be a good idea to make the nav ball larger so I could see. Okay. We can probably, we're going to have to do the final maneuvering with this, with the other vehicle, which we definitely can do. We could probably technically do it with this, but that way lieth insanity. Okay. Cut the speed by a bit. At this point, we no longer need to worry about orbital mechanics, really. I mean, we kind of do, but not to the same extent as we used to. So I want to get absolutely as close to 0 as I can get. Which... there we go. Now... switch 2. Set the Clampetron as the target. Point toward the target. Now here we can actually go ahead and use our assists, because we actually have a pilot aboard this one. So this will be relatively exceedingly trivial. Except I don't have any RCS whatsoever. Okay. Is this damn thing rotating? It is. Well, hopefully now it isn't. Okay. Damn it, we're gonna hit it. What in the world? What's going on here? Okay, retrograde. That was not a good bounce. Okay, now we need to move parallel. Man, I hope I don't run out of fuel. Well, at this point, we can do a spacewalk. You know, that might actually be the best idea. Because realistically, there's not much chance that I am going to... Okay, stop rotating, damn you. Okay. Swing us retrograde. Let's reduce our chances of hitting. At this point, I just want to dock to prove that I can. This is not a craft that is well designed for docking, let's put it that way. If I had RCS thrusters, this would have been done a long time ago, because I'd be able to adjust, get straight with it and stuff like that. As it is. I kind of need to wing it. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Again. I need to turn my thrust limiter down. That's what I need to do. Okay, that helped a lot actually. How much burn do I have left? We've used about a third of our fuel so far. Okay. Now we point down. Spin it around. Okay. We might be able to dock right now. We'll see. This game is so fun and hard. I'm making it way harder than it has to be for myself right now. There we go. We docked. Okay. Docking is one of the hardest things you can do in this game, honestly. And docking without proper equipment, aka without having directional thrusters, is just insane and annoying. But when you have a really small, light craft like this, you can do it with enough reliability that I was willing to chance it. Anyway, Jeb, get out of the lander. Well, I'm going to see if I can bring that lander home. I probably can't, but I'm going to try. There's no real reason to. Think you only got it done once yourself? No. I used to play a lot with mods that add... Where's the damn doors in this thing? Oh, there they are. I used to play a lot with mods that added special UIs for docking. And that makes it way easier. There was a really good one that opened up a big square UI that had a pair of X's overlaid over it, and you line up everything. Kind of a lot like the way the docking UI in X4 works, actually. But a little more complicated. You'll basically line everything up in the center, and you're faced the right way, and perfectly straight with whatever it is, and then you just fly ahead until you're into it. And then later... I don't know if that one is even available for modern versions of Kerbal Space Program, but at some point it broke. But I found a different one that displayed a docking indicator in the nav ball. I don't remember exactly how that one worked, but it also was easier than flying it by hand without the aid of it. It kind of showed you where you had to be pointed to be aligned with the... instead of like the purple circle or whatever. Purple, I think it is. Anyway, the circle that shows your target direction. In addition to that, it had a different one that had a crosshair through it. And that showed the direction to be parallel to the docking clamp. So you just put your nose on that, and then you could use the translation thrusters to get docked up. Oh well, we're docked now. And we have all the fuel in the world to get home with. I probably should go ahead and turn off the main thruster here. Boom. We don't want that burning by accident. Go ahead and put it in its own little dedicated thing past the parachutes so we don't accidentally ignite it. Now, for the trip home. This is relatively simple. We had a maneuvering node on the opposite side of the Mun from the Earth, and we burn outward. Or is it the other way around? I think it's the other way around, actually. Yeah, perfect. Okay. 56. Here, let's give it a little less. Try to make it a more efficient burn, even though the last thing we need at this point is efficiency. There we go. Okay. Can I also transfer fuel from the lander back to the rocket? Should be able to. I don't really want to, though. I should have ditched this stage a long time ago, honestly. But there's no way the lander contains enough fuel. Yeah, just fractional amounts. The lander by itself had like, well, 20 meters a second of fuel just for the lander by the time I docked. Okay. Let's get pointed around to our new target. Oh, I need to reset the thrust limiter as well. There we go. I had an insane thrust limiter because maneuvering. Anyway, we should, assuming we don't burn up in the atmosphere, which we shouldn't, because I think I have a pretty hefty heat shield. Whether or not the lander survives, of course, different story, which reminds me, I need to pull that science off the lander and put it into the capsule. I'll be sad if I don't. Bill, you can go do an EVA this time. Congratulations. That wasn't what I wanted to do, but anyway. Okay, nothing useful. Let go. Activate RCS. Okay. Maneuvering a Kerbal with RCS is exactly the same as, or not quite exactly the same, but pretty close to exactly the same as doing a landing. Okay, take data. Take data. Take data. Collect data. Collect data. Okay. I'm definitely not leaving anybody in the lander for landing. Oh, that's why I didn't bring anybody up in the lander. Because I wasn't sure I'd be able to survive in re-entry. Okay. There we go. What experiments can't I store? Mystery Goo observation from the Mun's far side crater. Okay, we will put that. We'll put that back in the lander can for now. If the lander can survives, then we have 2 copies of that experiment and for a little tiny bit more data. If it doesn't survive, then, well, we don't have that data. RIP. But everything for which we don't have duplicates, it should be safely stored. Okay. Speaking of that, are any of these experiments valid to do while floating around up here that we haven't done them yet? Nope. Okay, we've done all those. That is what I thought. Think you might have a large bomb in the front of your rocket if I'm not careful. If it starts overheating, we'll just eject it. It'll be fine. Have I tried weapon mods for this? Nope. I never really was interested in any of that stuff. Most of the time when I used mods, I would use the robotics mod, whose name I don't remember, and Kerbal attachment systems, which will allow you to build things in orbit. Okay. We're all ready for the burn. Nowadays, there's a slightly limited version of Kerbal attachment system in vanilla. Okay. Go ahead and start our burn. We want to kill this when it just starts getting into the atmosphere. Okay. That is perfectly acceptable. Now, we're going to re-enter the atmosphere. If I decide we're not slowing down enough, then we'll burn off a bunch of fuel. I am going to go ahead and eject our second stage now. Okay. What exactly did it do? Well, anyway. Now we have ejected the second stage. So this was the stage that was intended to be used for orbiting or maneuvering around the Mun the whole time. It looks like we have a good 1200 meters a second of delta V out here. And a 60-second burn time. This would have made it much easier to do the orbital maneuvering required to rendezvous the two ships together, but oh well. I didn't want to give up that fuel. I should have transferred that fuel back aboard the lander. Oh well. And then underneath this, right up here, is the heat shield. Which it looks like I removed half of the heat shield material from the heat shield. We'll be fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom inward. Our there we go. Go ahead and set it to retrograde. Oh, well, that's just amazing. We're out of electrical charge. Damn it. Well, it's a good thing we left the lander attached, I guess. Where's the sun? The sun is over that way. Okay, do we have a little tiny bit of electrical charge? We do indeed. Let's rotate over this way and see if we can get some more sunlight on us. Okay. This is why you turn the lights off. And also why you make sure you have solar panels facing every direction. Thankfully, the engines all have alternators in them, so we just need a little bit of electrical charge to last us when we're not actually firing an engine. Which admittedly is going to be most of this maneuver, but anyway. Let's go ahead and not charge the lander right now. You won FTL. Congratulations. First time? I've never won FTL, to be clear. I played it, I'm not sure if I want to say a bunch, but I played it some. Third time? Slightly less cool than the first time, but still very cool. FTL is a, well, FTL, Faster Than Light, is the full name of the game. It is a roguelike sort of thing where you're trying to guide your crew and their dinky little ship across the galaxy to warn the, warn your group of rebels that the big bad evil empire is coming for them or something like that. I don't remember exactly. It is, like most roguelikes, it is highly RNG dependent and requires quite a bit of very careful management and skill to actually make it, even if you get good luck. I don't like it very much. I think it has too much RNG bullshit. But I do have to admit, it is a very good game, assuming you like that kind of game. And I did enjoy playing it a little bit, but it drove me up the wall after a bit and I quit. But it is very well constructed and has inspired a lot of other games. If you like roguelikes with all their RNG bullshit and such like, then FTL is definitely something to pick up. And when the stars align, you get that sweet win. Yeah. There's quite a bit of stuff to unlock and such like by running into secrets and things. Anyway. Fallout 1 and 2 weren't really RNG bullshit. I'll be perfectly honest, I never really properly played Fallout 2. I started playing it once, got a little ways into it, and then I got caught up in doing, basically runs where you tried to get to the end game with minimum equipment, which I found infinitely more fun than playing normally. Okay, we've got plenty of power at this point. There's no point in turning, though, until we're actually into the atmosphere, though. Made a -5 IQ move to sell a gun that he had 2 of. Have the other that when it heats up will fire 5% faster. Yeah. You won anyway, though. Suppose that's all that matters. Let's go ahead and let it charge the lander can. There we go. We have entered the atmosphere. Let's face retrograde. We are going to have to eject this bottom section when we start getting into the atmosphere solidly because it will start burning. Doing a science campaign from scratch? No, this is an old save I just grabbed. It's a career save. Oh, I don't know when I last played this one, but it was quite a while ago. Part of me wants to say over a year, but I'm not sure if that's accurate. Anyway, I doubt I'll play much of Kerbal Space Program on stream. I just decided to do it today because I didn't feel like doing anything else, and because it was free on Epic. So I was like, stars align. Let's play a little KSP. And we're out of the atmosphere. We did not get any braking out of that at all. We need to be way lower to get much braking. We got a little bit, but not enough. But hey, we still have these engines. We might as well use them. Wonder if we can land in the desert. I've never seen the desert launch site. It's highly unlikely to be able to land there, though. We're not on the right. Yeah. You bought it a few weeks ago. You put in 348 hours so far. Well, it's a good game. Obviously, the version that Epic is giving away doesn't come with any DLC, but... Okay. Goodbye, maneuvering stage that we never used. Got the base game plus DLC for like 16 bucks. Oh. Thank you, Steam sales. I didn't perfectly align the lander with the orbiter when I redocked. That's going to annoy me a little bit. I highly doubt we'll be able to get the lander down safely. It'll probably burn up, at least partly, and we'll have to eject it, but I still want to try. We're going to end up landing somewhere out in the ocean. Just a key site. Survey. Depending on what key site you got it from. If it was G2A, don't tell me. Penguin? Haven't really heard of that place. Oh, well. Hopefully we'll be down safely without me having to do anything else with this. We're currently outside the atmosphere, so let's go ahead and boost it up a little bit. Okay. There we go. Yeah. The only thing I generally use key sites for is getting a Windows key if I need one, and then I look for the scummiest one I can find. Just joking. Looks like we're going to land in the dark. That mildly annoying, but oh well. Okay, if we start running into heat problems, we're going to have to eject the top here. We're almost certainly going to run into said heat problems. We'll see. We definitely don't need this much ablator for this, but... I don't see any overheat warnings yet. Oh, we're going to have to eject this anyway to clear the parachutes. Well, no we won't. It'll just be weird and it'll probably land us facing the wrong way. Because the parachutes aren't like in real life. Okay, looks like we're going to be down safe. We just need to wait till it's safe to pop the chutes. Which is now. Yeah. Buying Windows from Microsoft is just, yeah, don't do that. Their prices are insane. Although I think at this point I'm pretty much done buying Windows, period. Whenever I want to reinstall an operating system on this PC or whatever PC replaces this one, then I'm just going to switch to Linux. I already use Linux for work, and it'll be no big deal to use it for gaming too. Almost all the games that I'm actually interested in will run on it flawlessly. And for the one or two that won't, I can fix that easily enough. I might have to keep around a Windows install or something to, if I ever want to play something that uses the weird anti-cheat or something, but it definitely won't be something I would use with any regularity. Anyway. At this point, we just need to wait until we actually hit the ground. It used to be that if you were using Physics Warp 4 headed toward the surface, you were taking your Kerbal's life into your hands. But it's become a lot more stable over the years. I still don't want to land that way, though. We'll just come down on 1.0 speed for the last few little bit. Okay, so we were able to successfully land the lander. I guess we're going to hope that is waterproof. I didn't get a message that Jebediah drowned, so I think we're okay. $374 science. All right, that'll get us another couple nodes, maybe. And we should have completed. Damn it, I forgot to grab science data from Space Around Kerbin. But we did get the Explore the Mun. Is this in the right order even? Because I swear I took one to plant a flag on the Mun. Okay. Whatever. All right. R&D. Now, I would really, really like advanced electronics, because that should give us much better solar panels. Boom. And precision engineering is really tempting, purely for the cubic octagonal strut and the octagonal strut, because those are really nice for building things. Better antennas, meh. Let's see. This gives stability assist and prograde retrograde hold. I don't really like the way they broke up the SAS modes for probes. But the Hex is a relatively decent core. Cargo storage units. Mobile processing lab is really tempting, but it's heavy as heck. It's the kind of thing you want to leave on a space station somewhere. What even is this? A new science experiment. Okay. Alright, I don't know if I want any of those particularly badly. Bigger lander cans is tempting, though. Yeah. The large reaction wheel. Is very tempting. The lab will get you 5 times science if you process your science minimus orbit or Mun surface. Yeah. One thing I used to do in Days of Yore. Well, one thing I had in Days of Yore, I should say. Back in 0.23, I think. I had a space station in Mun orbit that had one of those on it, and it came with 2 small landers. And I could just send those landers down, pick up science, bring them back up, process it, and transmit it back. Admittedly, science processing worked a little differently back then from what it did now. Now it's stronger, I think. But even then, it was pretty cool. I unlocked pretty much the entire tech tree using just Mun science on that run. Little secret here. I've put a lot of hours into this game. I've never been outside of Kerbin orbit. I've been to Minimus a lot of times. I've been to Mun a ton of times. I've had large space stations around both. I've never went to any of their planets. I really probably should pick up the processing lab. Bigger docking ports are pretty tempting, though. I don't know what these grip pads are for. Structural tubes are interesting. Bigger shells, angled nose cone, ground anchors. These would be kind of cool if I wanted to build a ground station anywhere, which I don't really. Not yet anyway. Grabbing units are cool. All these hinges and stuff are cool. I don't know what I'd use them for, but they're cool. Spaceplane parts, meh, boring. Although apparently they have helicopter parts now, which is interesting. Don't really think I need the bigger landing strut yet. We definitely can't afford any of this thing. Really, it comes down to small struts, way better space science, or large reaction wheels. Super tempting too, I guess. There's too many choices, damn it. Screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and take the mobile processing lab. Alright. And now we're broke. Grip pads are great fun. Almost can't destroy them. They weren't a thing the last time I played. Okay, so we have some tourists who want to do suborbital space flight. Green sandstone from Minimus. Satellite in a specific orbit. You know, I don't know why I ever do career mode. These are always boring missions. These guys all want to fly by the Mun or orbit the Mun. That's a lot of money. It's really tempting to try to build a tourist bus that can get to the Mun and back. A little station around the Mun. That would be nice. What kind of orbit do they want? Doesn't specify an orbit, okay. We're gonna need bigger rockets to launch something like that easily, though. Let's see. Was there one that wanted to go to Minimus? Oh, sure enough, there is. Okay. Matter of fact, there's multiple that wanted to go to Minimus. Well, screw you guys then. I don't feel like going to Minimus yet. Orbital station on a solar orbit? No, thank you. I guess this is maybe a good idea. They'll pay us pretty good cash. Needs to support 8 Kerbals. Be hard to launch it though. In one piece. We'd have to do multiple pieces probably. It needs to be in orbit of the Mun, which is going to make everything way more complicated. Maybe we should do some boring rescue Kerbal missions. It probably wouldn't be hard to build a dedicated Kerbal rescue craft and go for it. Minimus gives great science. Yeah, I just don't want to go there yet. Let's see. These things are weird. Alright, so. What do we have in the way of carrying devices? Got the hitchhiker storage container, which can hold 4. Okay, let's try to build Let's see, what can we build in the way of a Kerbal collector, shall we say? There we go. That size isn't correct though, is it? No, it isn't. And this is the tiny one? Yeah. Well, it's better than what we had, I guess. We don't really need the Mark 1 command pod on this. We can just stick a lander can on it. It's lighter anyway, and we're going to have to protect the whole thing anyway. Do we have a heat shield big enough for this? Yes, we do. Okay, good. Alright, we don't quite want to put that on yet. That's the small service bay. That's not quite big enough either. That's tiny. Okay, we'll do this the slightly boring way then. Well, not like that. Okay. These are some things we should take along the next time we go to the Mun, probably. Oh, what am I looking for? It's actually easy, just burn until you leave Kerbin influence. Direction is irrelevant. Best thing about rescuing Kerbals is you get to keep them. Well, if you want them anyway. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna want a decoupler. I think this is the one I wanted. No, that's not the right one. Definitely the coolest looking one, though. Okay, I think we should probably put a... Oh, here we go. That's small, though. That's too small. We want a bigger one if you were going to do that. Plus, how much does that thing weigh? Oh, not that much, actually. Okay. I wish I had a larger service bay at this point. This one is not big enough. Also, I don't really like the way it's designed. Yeah, okay. I guess we don't have a shroud around it. Unless... Do we have a structural tube that's large enough? It doesn't look like it. No, they're small and smaller. We're lucky we have a heat shield that's big enough to protect this thing. Well... Fine, be that way. If you take this, attach it like that. We're not actually going to leave that like that, by the way. And then we put a little bit of something in between the two. How much does this weigh? It's very light. Okay. Boom. Service bay without the walls. And then... if we just decoratively strut it a little bit. Yeah, that looks ugly. Struts never look good. We don't really have anything that can go between the two that wouldn't look like crap, though, do we? Not really. Not without also weighing too much. Then again... No, none of those are narrow enough. Like, that's way too huge. If we had a tiny version of that, we could kind of stuff it in there. Like 4 of them to help provide visual stability. There's nothing in here that we want, is there? Pretty sure not. Actually, we could put us... Nah, there's no point bringing science along in this. Except like a basic experiment, maybe. It just adds weight for no gain. Okay. I don't think there's anything in here we want except maybe the... Let's add ladder units top and bottom on here. That'll give some place to grab on when we're EVing rescuees over. Alright, so this down here, let's just fill it out with solar panels. We want the 1x6s, of course. Drop that to by 4. Don't want to put them... Let's put them offset 45 degrees. Like that, I think. Okay, these can actually go up a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty decent. That should get us 360 degree solar panel coverage. And then we'll do 4 Z400s in between those, just to make sure we have plenty of electrical power. What do we have for RCS? Oh, where did they hide the RCS stuff nowadays? Not RCS. Yeah. Reaction wheels, I mean. We have this kind, and we have the baby kind. Okay. We could actually replace that center useless column with one of these. You know what? Let's do that, why don't we? Okay. Boom. And then grab you. Bang on, right in the middle. Perfect. Put that on the bottom. Okay, that's actually excellent. Then we'll put another one up top. Those don't close, so you lose them on re-entry. Do they no longer close? They used to close. Let me check. Come here, you. There we go. Let's see. Cannot be retracted. Sure enough. When did they change that? How about these? Okay, these can be retracted. Well, that's annoying and stupid. Thank you, survey. Let's see. Okay, those can extend. I don't like the way they do it, though. Let's go ahead and flip them around. Not like that. There we go. I don't know if I like that any better. I kind of wanted them to extend out of the middle. I really like the other one, the way the other one's folded up, but... Oh well. It's just the way things are, I suppose. That'll do. They rotate sun track? Yeah, I know, that's why I was putting them on. It's a cheap and effective way to get 360 degree solar panel coverage. Although it'd be less efficient if you weren't nose on or tail on to the sun. It still would kind of work, except I guess if you were right like that. But there's an easy way to solve that one. And that is with a few of these. Right like that. And now we have quite solid, more or less omnidirectional solar coverage. And lots of battery power just in case. Okay, so this is the main core of the lander that is going to return. Let's put a couple science experiments on it, but nothing major, just some little stuff. I shouldn't say land. Well, lander, I guess is right. It will be landing after all. Science experiments, Milo. Okay. Thermometer's probably fine. We don't need many science experiments. We'll just go ahead and put a single thermometer right there. Actually, screw it. We'll put a thermometer right there and leave it at that. It's just there so that we can satisfy getting a science experiment done while in space easily without having to EVA anybody. Yeah, this thing is strictly going to be a Kerbal rescue device. Hello, Rushy Washy. Welcome here. Technically, I don't even need to put this here. I can just get an EVA report, but we're putting it there anyway. I might actually want to replace that lander can with a robot. Okay, well, onwards and downwards, I guess. We need a decoupler. I kind of like this decoupler. Shroud off. Oops. Get back on there, you. Now, we're going to abuse the game's willingness to allow us to move things around. Turn off snap. There we go. That looks cool. Turn on snap. Go back to the placement tool. And onto this, we're going to attach a fuel tank. Probably a larger one than that. Do I have any that are larger around? Or is that it? Aha. There we go. Let's go ahead. This is going to require a bit more tweaking to make it look right, but it'll look cool when I'm done. Am I escaping the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism? No. No, I'm not. I'm escaping the one place that isn't full of communists. To the one place that isn't full of communists. There we go. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? Just the way it is. Okay. Now, we need an engine. And we don't need a very big one either, because this one is only going to be used for maneuvering in space. Let's see. Let's turn the shroud off. No, that's not what we need. There we go. That looks like crap, but there's a way to fix this. And that is with the help of the new move tool. There we go. Do I like the way that looks? Kinda. Also kinda no. I know how to fix it though. There we go. This offset tool is awesome. When I put most of my hours into this game, this wasn't a thing. Okay. So we want to be in vacuum. We'll have 1600 meters a second of thrust with a thrust rate ratio of 1.2. 111 seconds to burn. Maybe I would want a slightly bigger engine, actually. What do we have? 1 for place, 2 for move, 3 for rotate, and 4 for reroute for keyboard shortcuts. That would probably be useful to remember, yes. Maybe we should use the Poodle instead. The Poodle's more appropriately sized. Also, I have to admit, it does look cooler in this. We lose a little tiny bit of delta V, but we gain some thrust weight ratio. I really, really should put at least some amount of RCS thrusters on this, too. What do we have for RCS? Okay, do we have any RCS thrusters that don't use monoprop? I don't think any are available in vanilla. Or if there are any in vanilla, they're not available yet. So we would have to use one of these. Or one of these, actually, probably. Are these actually smaller? Yes, they are. And here I thought these were small enough. Unfortunately for me, I don't think vanilla has any kind of RCS balancing UI. Which would make getting all this perfectly centered around the center of mass annoying. The only RCS that don't use monoprop are the vernier engines. Yeah. There were some mods that used to use that added several different monoprop or non-monoprop versions of the RCS. They were all larger than normal ones, but they were still a little easier to work with. Do I really want RCS? Yes, kind of. If I had RCS though, I'm gonna have to drag around monoprop with me and screw that. We'll have plenty of maneuvering power with our... Yeah, we don't need that. I might want it, but we don't need it. And I don't want to try to mess around trying to get it placed. Okay. Let's turn center mass off. I think this will do just fine for recovering Kerbals from space. I'm strongly tempted to remove this. Here. These can go somewhere else. Probably be safe to leave them there. I'll leave them here instead. Okay, we don't need that. What do we have for drone brains? Okay. You have stability assist only. And this thing doesn't even have SAS, I don't think. Upon second thought, we do want a cockpit after all. I take back everything I said about cockpits. Let's make the ship a little shorter though. There. It's like the RCS wheel didn't even exist. Not RCS, reaction wheel. Let's see. Yeah, this should be fine. You use a 2-man pod, 4x4-way RCS, basic engine. Oh yeah, I'm definitely over-engineering the crap out of this. That's fine. Oh, I need to add parachutes too, or this thing will not be able to land. Let's see. A Mark 16 XL is probably more than enough to land this, because everything below the heat shield is going to be discarded. I might add a couple radio drogues. Like that. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay. Let's offset this into the thingy a little bit so it looks slightly less awkward. In the same way. Listen here, you. I've got to turn snap off to make this work. There we go. Make sure you set all pieces to rigid attachment to prevent slinking. We should be fine on that. Got a whole bunch of inventory we're never going to use. Okay. So I think this is pretty decent. We're going to want to be able to blow those two apart before the chutes are popped. Additionally, we're going to want to be able to pop the drogues before the mains. Or the main, I guess I should say. Part of me wants to install a pair of radial mains and leave this as like a backup main, but that's just being paranoid. Okay. I think I am going to go ahead and offset this slightly into this, so it clips a little tiny bit, because that looks better. It makes it look more solidly connected. Yes, that is pointless. Actually, if you pull this down a little bit more, there we go. We hide the bolt holes, and it still looks like it's solidly connected. Much better. Okay. Snapping back on. Place mode back on. Now, to build the actual proper thingy. For that, we need... the best bearing we have available. After I go ahead and turn off shroud on that engine, because that's going to look bad. Okay. Get a cross section there. I could just terminate it right there, but that'd be dumb. Actually, let's go ahead and smooth this out a little bit. There, how about that? That's annoying. Right shift does not work the same way as left shift. Whoever programmed this game needs their hands smacked. Okay. Truss structure. That's just fine. We'll bump sides up to 4 because I like the way that confetti is a little better. I kind of like the orange and black one the best, honestly. Silver just looks silly. Okay. So that is our payload. Go ahead and move this up a little bit so we have room to build underneath it. Okay, we will be blowing this before we light the engine. That's fine. I think I do need to have a decoupler in here though. Oops. There's no reason for a big one. That's plenty. Okay. And that does make it so we need to go ahead and edit the fairing a little bit. Boom. Make you a little bit bigger so you look a little less wonky. Boom. Okay, perfect. That should be fine. Change the variant for no particular reason. Damn it, right shift does not work the same as left shift. Thank you, game. I appreciate you very much. There's no reason to sync the decoupler into anything. I don't think. Yeah, we're fine. Alright, now, for the main booster core. For that, we want the biggest fuel tank we have. Which it is a little hard to tell which ones are what size from just this view. Which is a little bit annoying. I think that's the biggest one I have available. Yeah, that's the X200 by 32. Everything else is smaller than that. Okay. I need bigger rocket cores. Oh well. Let's go ahead and make it a by 48, why don't we? We'll use ESA for now. It looks a little better than the orange one. That tank must be orange. I'd rather it was this dark gray actually, but that's not an option. The white is ghastly, I do agree with that. The gray doesn't really match anything properly. The orange is a little too vibrant for me. So I guess that's the best of a bad lot. We don't really have anything to fare over the edge between those two sizes, which is very unfortunate. Damn it. Left shift should work the same as right shift. And when they don't, it pisses me off. Let's offset this up into that a little bit. That improves the situation a little bit. Yeah, that visually improves the situation a lot. I hope it doesn't affect the separation of the shroud, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, what engine do we want? We have a mainsail. I think that's the biggest one that's available, or is the Kodak bigger? Okay. The mainsail is definitely bigger. Really? Yeah, this is a baby engine. Okay. The mainsail, I think, is the biggest we have at the moment. By a lot. Alright. Boom. Are there any good options for this? Not really. They all look equally ugly. Alright, we'll do the full shroud version, I think. Alright. All ready to launch to space, right? No. Although that is almost enough delta V to get out and circularize an orbit. I think it needs around 4,000 something to get a proper circular orbit. Skiff engine's a good alternative. The upper stage has got great efficiency. Yeah. I think the Poodle should be better than that, though. I should actually check. What is the ISP? Vacuum is 350. 330. Okay, so the Poodle is a little bit more efficient, but the Skiff probably has more thrust overall. Yeah, it's got about 50 more kilonewtons of thrust. Which we don't need more thrust than the Poodle offers, so we're good. Okay. The Kodak looks like a... This is definitely a main engine kind of engine. Kind of weird though, because it's a bit too small to be useful, in my opinion. What happens if we go ahead and put... Oh... Just basic radial decouplers on. And slap on... Oh... Big boy solid boosters. Okay. .45 thrust weight ratio, burn time 74 seconds. And then we have another 23 seconds of burn at 4 thrust weight ratio after we ditch those. This is probably going to be enough to get us straight to orbit. Yeah, this is probably more than we could possibly need. I'll obviously need to test it, but let's see. Aerodynamics. Do I have any nose cones that even fit these things? Yeah, I do. Do I have any nose cones that fit better than that? Okay, I think that's what I just put on. These are too big. Don't have a slanted nose cone or anything like that, so 1.3 to 1.8 thrust weight ratio at launch is great. I'd like to have higher than that, but there's an easy way to change that as well. For one thing, I'm hardly going to be running the... Here, let's set this to 0, actually. We'll have 1.9 with the main engine not hardly firing. I like to have my thrust weight ratio around 2. So we'll run the liquid engine just kind of barely chugging along until the solids are gone, and then we'll be able to control our speed from there with the main engine. We're probably going to have all the power in the world to circularize. Alright. Let's go ahead and put on some strutting, because we're definitely going to need it. A little bit here to hold the nose into place. Boom. I don't like the way those connect up, though. Where can I attach the strut so it isn't going to look ugly? because I don't want them attaching directly to the door or anything dumb like that. That'll work. Okay, and then we'll strut at the bottom as well. So I can get a good view. Damn you. Shift keys. Why would the game developer do that? Okay. Right there. Good enough. And we're definitely going to want to put Separatrons on these things. Probably a pair of them. Let's see. There they are. We're going to want these to be pointed in toward the core. Like that. To kick the nose out. Yeah, that's probably fine. That should make them tumble away. Hopefully clearing everything of any use. My paranoid inner bit says that we should do it like that. There we go. Yeah, with them angled like this, that should give them a little up and out hop. That should make sure everything clears. If it doesn't work, then we'll angle them the other way, which should give them a down and out push, which should definitely make sure everything clears. Obviously, the Separatrons don't want to get fired at that point. We want to fire them at the same exact time as these go off. There we go. All right. Now, we can just go ahead and add some launch stability enhancers, which we'll put, right about there will be fine, I think. Provide plenty of support. And then let's lower this whole thing back a little closer to the ground. Actually, let's move these and put them over here. Grabbing onto the boosters directly across from their main support. And let's add... Delta Deluxe winglets, maybe? They're large enough, that's probably acceptable. That should probably do it. Yeah, this might require some more adjustment before I'm completely happy with the idea, but those are on the same stage as everything else. Okay, that gives us about 4,300 meters a second of delta V on the first stages. And a good solid almost 1,500 of maneuvering once we get to where we're going. Let's just rename this. Okay. Save. Check crew. There's currently nobody aboard. We'll take Valentina. Go where the landing can, please. I am going to reroute it on the landing can, which should make that the primary. Let's go ahead and... Okay, that is the default control point, I hope. Okay, we don't want it to be a lander, we want it to be a ship. For no particular reason. Alright. The vessel naming is a lot more advanced than I remember it being as well. We definitely could set up our Mun lander so that when it splits up, the two pieces are named separately. Which would be pretty cool. Okay, let's save it again, and let's reopen our lander booster. This is the version that was sent? Yeah, okay. Because I want to adjust the lander naming. Make a vessel name. Lander orbiter. Actually, let's change this a little bit. Mun lander orbiter. I'm almost tempted to put a third control point on that gets discarded at some point. Okay. Mun lander. Boom. Okay. Now I really want to take this thing apart and put an unnecessary probe core in here just so I can have the combination of the two be named one thing. And then when the booster part is released, then it changes to orbiter and lander. Damn it. Okay. So the combined ship should be named... Craft to be named Mun Orbiter when launched. Okay, but that's not what I want to happen, actually. I'm gonna do it. We will use a Octo. Why am I doing this? Okay, control vessel naming. Set it to a priority 11. And we will name it Mun Lander Mission. There. Now, this will be known as the Mun Lander Mission until such time as the booster is discarded. Then it will become Mun Lander Orbiter. And when the Mun Lander itself detaches, it will become known as the Mun Lander. Or the Mun Orbiter, I mean. It's only a control point. The Hitchhiker's just seeding storage. If you launched with just it, you'd have no control. Yeah. That's why I put it on there in the first place. Okay. We will offset this upward a little bit. And then we will offset this upward a little bit as well. Boom. It's like it didn't even exist. In the meantime, I do want to add some better solar panels to this. And I'm going to put them down here, and I'm going to use the cheap 1x6s. There's no point using the good ones because this part isn't going to survive re-entry anyway. Boom. Okay. So those will be able to keep the thing from experiencing the battery dying effect we had last time around. I could put bigger batteries on it as well, but I don't really think there's a reason to do that. This thing doesn't use much power. Alright, let's save that. Okay, that's cool though. It'll be named Mun Mission, and then become Mun Orbiter, and then when the lander separates, it'll be named Mun Lander on its own. That is, I think, completely new. From okay, science data, plant flag. I'm on. I knew this was here. Why didn't it show up in the? Oh, because we hadn't finished it yet. That's why. Okay, whatever. All right, back to loading the Kerbal Rescue Craft. Okay. Through. We'll take Valentina instead of Jeb. You need to be on the Mark 1 lander can. I thought for sure that rerouting this thing on the lander can would set that to be the first and not the second, but how'd that change it? Oh, that did it. Okay. Yay. For the sake of my sanity, it needs to be that way. I think this thing is ready to test. Let's run through and make sure all the stuff's in the right order. Okay, those fire, that fires, those release. Fire those, release that. I want this to be differently ordered. This ordering internal to these is absolutely not important in any way, shape, or form. I'm just doing it that way because that's how I do it. Okay, when this blows, that engine fires. When that blows, then we have the parachutes and we're done. Okay. Staging is set. Let's go launch it. This is a test launch. If it goes well, we will return to Kerbin and we will accept a bunch of rescue Kerbal missions and we'll see how many we can do. Actually, I'm going to leave the thrust on 0 because with just the solid rocket engines we'll be fine. I'll probably do like a third of thrust or something like that, I guess. We're definitely not going to burn much of our liquid fuel doing this, which is exactly what I want. Pretty much the only reason why I'm throttling the main engine at all is to get a little bit of control authority. Okay, let's start tipping it over slightly. I kind of wish I had large reaction wheels, because I'd like to put one like right in the middle of the rocket stack here. But alas, that is not the world we live in. Okay. We're still on solid fuel. Okay. That probably would have been fine if we were in atmosphere, but we weren't, so let's just go back to vehicle assembly. To be clear, this is a survivable accident. But I didn't feel like dealing with it. Let's see. Okay. So, we have enough things I have learned is that we have enough solid thrust that we are not going to burn out before gravity turned, which I expected we would. Since we do not burn out before gravity turn, that means we need more Separatrons for starters. Okay. We want to just kick these straight away. There's no need to angle them in any particular direction. So this will boost straight and maybe pull the tip away. We'll see. We'll put those right between the black lines, actually. Like that. Okay, these go up here with the rest of the Separatrons. Which go there. Like that. Alright. Start your turn around 100 meters a second and slowly follow prograde. You'll get to 80 kV with DV to spare. I always just went up to about 10 or 15k and then started hauling over a little bit. Which is probably not as efficient as what you're saying. Well, definitely is not efficient as what you're saying. Also, these things aren't in the order I left them. Which annoys me very slightly, but doesn't make any real difference. That's super inefficient. Well, welcome to Kerbal Space Program, as I always flew it. Let's change this tank color. It looks weird. Let's go ahead and change a lot of these colors. Ooh, that looks cool. Is there a different variant of this thing? Doesn't really look like it, no. Okay, well, that will have to do, I suppose. Do you have a different color? No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, let's get these rockets colored to be reasonable. Oh, those don't have... Darn. Okay. Go back to black and white, I guess. Separatrons probably don't have a color. No, they don't. Okay. That's not unexpected. Okay. So this should probably be about 1,000,000 times more... Well, it won't blow itself up when those separate now. And now that I know what characteristics it has when it takes off, I think I will be much better at controlling it. Let's go try. If the autopilot has the prograde option, just turn to around 10 degrees after you get up to about 100 meters a second and let it follow prograde the rest of the way itself. Yeah, I think this pilot has prograde, but I'm not going to use it. I'll just manually pilot it. It is 11:30, by the way. Alright. We'll leave the throttle at 0 for launch, but I will throttle up after launch to get some gimbal control authority. Okay. About a third throttle. Okay, most of our throttle down the rest of the way because we don't need the gimbal anymore. Turn more. So I'm getting a bit of rotation that I don't want. Okay, now I definitely need to turn more. Start laying it over on its side. Okay. Those all split off successfully. Okay, we're going to get a fairly high orbit out of this, but that's acceptable, I suppose. Will it explode? Always a fun stage. Okay, I want to be rotated like this. Yeah, I'm not trying to launch into a particular orbit. We're going to have to do a lot of orbital maneuvering once we're up here. We have full liquid fuel and we have not really done anything. So we're going to have this whole tank of fuel available for circularization. I'm willing to be a bit inefficient with this. Those boosters, we could definitely downgrade to a smaller solid booster and probably have a much better launch throughout because I had more control over it. You could be almost circular ready if you aim for 80-100. Oh well. Alright, that is circular enough for my purposes. Now, we have a lot of fuel left. We're probably going to expend a bunch of it doing orbital maneuvering. Okay, the shroud separated relatively cleanly. I should put these solar panels on something instead of doing them manually, but oh well, here we are. Boom. There, now whenever the sun comes out, we will be all solared up. I don't think Valentina's been on EVA before, so let's do that. Keep experiment. Board. I didn't put an antenna on this. We'll just carry the experiment around with us, I guess. Alright. Now, to return to the Kerbal Space Center, where we need to accept a couple recover missions. I think we'll just take like one or two. We'll do one for now, and then we'll take another one later if we... actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's just take all of them. Rescue. 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 No more than 4 of these. If we can't get them all this trip, then we'll have to get the rest of them other trips, but... That was some debris that somehow landed successfully. Yeah, go away. Okay. Some of them are in very large orbits. But the others are pretty close to our existing orbit here. Let's do farthest to closest. Okay. Set as target. Ascending node is 2.5. Boom. Add maneuver. Let's see if we can get something resembling a rendezvous. Okay, this is going to require some extreme maneuvering. No, we don't want to do that. We want to bring this in. Boom. Okay. Actually, that needs to go out more. Okay. Let's try to get that a little bit more adjusted. Okay, even that much distance at that range is going to be pretty impressive in some ways. Ooh. It's even better. Yeah, pretty much everything we do to this makes it worse at this point. Basically, we want to get as close as we can, and then we want to try to burn toward them and all that BS to try to get this a little better. Okay. Increase a little bit more. That's getting pretty close. There's no way we're actually able to burn this maneuver. Also, trying to burn to flatten our orbit at that point in the orbit is probably a bad idea, but screw it, we're doing it anyway. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. It's a terrible idea. Yeah, we'd be much better off trying to level off once we're out there. Alright. If you look in the options for the command pod on the action group, there's a return to KFC command the pilot can auto-execute. Huh. Might I just use the maneuver tool to get intercept? Probably because I forgot the maneuver tool and other cheaty things like that is a thing. Yeah, let's try that out. Where even is the maneuver tool? That's not it. It's over here. Let's see. There we go. Target. Let's see here. You do have an option to go to a selected target, don't you? Maybe it doesn't. I definitely have this thing selected as my target, right? Yes, I do. Okay. Well, maybe it doesn't. I'm just way too used to yeah. Okay, well. The maneuver I was planning was about ready to get out of date anyway. I didn't place it far enough ahead of me and I spent too long tweaking it. Actually, we're probably going to have to move it behind us. Also, I had kind of thoroughly messed that maneuver up. Okay, that's not a half bad intercept to just quickly slap out. Now, let's try to get... Ooh, actually, we can get pretty close to getting the ascending node to under 2 degrees. Okay, that makes it a little worse. That makes it even worse. Yeah, we'll have to adjust more from out there. Oh, actually, getting a little closer. Yeah. I think that's about the best we're going to do right there. And then we'll have to burn like a madman to get lined up with it when we get out there. We're definitely not going to be matching planes at the descending node like we should, but... we will worry about that later. Okay, so this is going to take a solid chunk. Here, give you my staging information. It's going to take almost half of our remaining fuel on the main stage, which should be fine. It's going to take a while to get this lined up on the right maneuver direction. Don't use that button for fast forward. Almost always messes up your orbit a lot. It shouldn't be able to change your orbit at all. But I guess this is Kerbal Space Program we're talking about. We have quite a lot of vertical separation here. Basically what we're going to have to do is we're going to match orbit. Then we got to burn toward it. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the butt, but we can do it easily enough. I wanted to start the burn a little earlier than this, but we'll be fine. Okay. Good enough? Question mark? Yeah, good enough. All right, excellent. You've done a 3-day fast forward that went from a perfect 100 by 100 to slamming into the planet. How even could it do that? If you're not actually engaging the engines. That... yeah, weird. Okay, now... add maneuver. We don't actually want to do that. We want to do this. Okay, now. This can be a pain in the ass. To very carefully get our close approach separation closer. 60K, 50K, 60K. Okay, that's all the closer we're going to be able to get that way. Now. Okay, that makes it worse. That makes it better. That makes it better. Okay. So we're skewing our orbit a little bit more. When we get down there, we're going to have to skew our orbit back to flatten out. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be at the node in 3 minutes, and we have an 8-second burn when we get there. Roughly. It'll be longer than that because I'm not going to burn at full throttle. Boom. There we go. Now let's accelerate a little bit. And there we go. Boom. Okay, we're 20 meters a second away from the perfect burn, end quote. Okay. Our current intersect is going to have us at 4.1 kilometers away at closest. You want FTL again? You must be on a roll. All right. Let's just go ahead and time accelerate our way out there. We still have about 750 or so meters a second of remaining DV in this stage before the next stage has into like almost 1500. On easy though. Well, considering I never won on any difficulty, that's still pretty... Admittedly, I didn't have that many hours in that game. Okay. Now, at the point of closest separation, we want to do a maneuver. We want to attempt to match speed as best we possibly can. Basically, we need to skew our orbit. Okay. Nope. That was a crossover point right there. Boom. 2, 1. Boom. We're going to be bumping into each other basically at that spot right there. And we can further adjust from there if we decide, or we can just grab somebody and fly over. That 1500 DV is assuming your current ship mass, so go up when you jettison the main stage. I doubt it, because I actually, to get to that, you have to jettison the main stage, and I think it's smart enough to handle that. I thought it was smart enough to handle that anyway. Okay. We're going to be there in a very few seconds, so we had better get ready. Hello. We burned a little too hard. Let me just go ahead and put it on a thrust limiter. At this stage, we're close enough to the target that I probably should just go ahead and Boom. Okay, set ourselves retrograde. Separation 2.1k is the closest we're going to get. Let's kill all our velocity relative to the target. There we go. Now, if we actually want to get closer to the target, I should probably jettison that main stage so I don't have to deal with its weight pushing me around. Who am I kidding? Jettison good Delta V? Me? Never. Okay. Okay. Let's get about, 5 meters a second toward the target. And tell it to do retrograde hold. At this point, we're close enough. We probably could fly a Kerbal across there. It would be a long, long journey, but we probably could do it. Because it makes the rendezvous a little bit easier in some ways. It makes it so that smaller burns are bigger effect, and I just like to do it that way better. Oh. Now, we have a few minutes until closest approach. 11 of them to be precise. Okay, now, if we match speeds, we can very, very easily fly a Kerbal across. Alright, buddy boy, go Eva. Cancel out all your relative velocity. And over we go. Thankfully, flying Eva Kerbals is pretty easy to eyeball. Alright. Ta-da! He's been rescued. Now, this next guy is going to be a colossal pain in the ass. For this one, we are going to want to burn at the descending node. Other way. There we go. Use square brackets to swap between controllable vehicles. That is good and useful information that I will probably promptly forget. Even though it will be incredibly useful to me if I happen to not forget it. Oh. I'm going to rescue one last Kerbal. And then I think I'll call it for the night because it is midnight and I need to go to bed. So we're going to get the 2 hardest Kerbals and then we'll have the Kerbals in low Kerbin orbit for some unknown future that may or may not ever happen. Depending on whether or not I ever come back to this game on stream. Maybe I'll use it as a weekend game in a year or 2. Okay. Node in an hour. Well, we're not going to wait for that. Okay, load in 2 minutes. It's going to be a 10-minute or 10-second burn. Go ahead and reduce this to about there. Okay, our actual descending node is at 0, 0. Yuck, yeah, all right. Now, I do have that idiot selected as a target. Add maneuver. Boom. This is going to be interesting. We're not anywhere close to a circular orbit, which is going to make this... Yeah, we're going to have to go ahead and orbit, I think. Or maybe 2. Actually, that's really close. Here. Turn as many of these off as we can so it's a little less distracting. There we go. Intersection's the only one we really want. Wow. 1.3 kilometers. Okay. That's a pretty good one. So, all we need to do is wait in orbit. 1 day and 2 hours. Okay, make that 5 hours. Please stop just randomly reducing my... What? Maneuver alarm for following simple transfer vessel minimus flyby. I don't have any other vessels out here, do I? I certainly don't have anybody who's trying to go past minimus. Okay. Why do I have an alarm for that? There's no vessel that's attached to. Weird. Who knows what I was doing last time I was actually playing this? Yeah, it'll be very fast, but that's fine. We'll be able to slow down plenty. Yeah, the thing is, we don't have another craft out here. I'm like 99.9% sure. Okay. Well, I gather your good luck isn't holding anymore, Colo. There we go. All right, now we have 2 minutes and 32 seconds until we have a 16-second burn. Yeah, there's no other ships out here. Alrighty. All this maneuvering is reminding me of my Point 23 game where I was building the rock pile. I had a station in... was it in Kerbin Orbit or was it in Mun Orbit? I think it was in Mun Orbit. Matter of fact, it was the station I talked about earlier on stream. The one that had the little Mun landers together with the science thingy. Yeah. I kept grabbing asteroids and dragging them into Mun Orbit and adding them onto it using grabber claws. That was a very unwieldy space station. Okay, 11 seconds. Let's go ahead and throttle up. I'm probably going to want to remove the, or at least turn down, turn up the thrust limiter. Okay. We have a 5.9 kilometer intersection with a relative speed of 197. Let's go ahead and set this to retrograde already. And let's just zoom our little butts over there. Forgot that specific kind of ship does not have oxygen on board and dropped your battle crew on it. Rip battle crew, I guess. Okay, we went a little bit past the point we wanted to, but that's fine. This is very easily recoverable. Yeah, we're fine without changing anything about our... Okay. Now, we are at 0 meters a second speed difference to the target. And we have run out of fuel on our main tanks. Excellent. Yeah, I didn't change the Delta V calculation survey. So I'm pretty sure that's... it already took the weight difference into account. Okay. Let's get that separation down a little bit. We're going to want to do a retrograde burn as soon as we're closer. This would be a lot smoother if we hadn't overshot. Okay. Start burning retrograde. Let's go ahead and hit 0 if we can. There we go. Now, since we're not lugging that huge mass of engines, we can easily spin around to face the target. Go ahead and get up to about 10 meters a second or so toward it. And then retrograde. You're close enough, just Eva. Yeah. I want to wait till I'm a little bit closer and then... Okay, now we're definitely within Eva. Let's kill as much of our relative velocity as we can. There we go. Alrighty. Square brackets do indeed do exactly what you said. Thank you very much, survey. Not that I doubted. And we have a very simple and easy Eva trip over. Eva 3 to 5K all the time. I know you can, I just would rather not. But I don't have to. I've had to get my Kerbals out and push a spacecraft before. That was kind of interesting. I don't know if this still happens this way, but it used to be. Whenever you got back in the ship, your Eva pack would reload. I've had it bad enough before where I had to get Kerbals out and push 3 or 4 times. And then push until they're almost empty on Eva and then get back in and repeat. Okay. So we have 2 more to recover. Let's just go ahead and set the first one as a target. And we will leave this problem for future Milo, who will show up here in like a year or so and go, wow, what in the world is going on here? Let's go ahead and save the game. There we go. And I think I'm going to call it here tonight. Oh, let's see. Who's streaming what? Wasted is streaming just chatting. Who knows what that means? And Avi is streaming something called Stolen Realm? What is this? I have no idea what this is. Let's go find out together. Hopefully the raid command works this time. All right. Tomorrow we'll be back with Terraria. Last time we had just killed... Oh, what's her face in the jungle? So I think the next boss on the list would be Golem. We'll have to see about that when we get there. But yeah. I have a nice long weekend of Terraria sort of planned out. I need to actually sit down and write up a to-do list before I can do that, but that'll be for tomorrow morning, hopefully. Until then, let's all go see whatever Avi's doing and have a good night. Yeah. Good night. Goodbye.